And this is why we cannot have nice things. Here, come walk with me for a second. So I am on my way to the Smithsonian because there was an exhibit that opened up there it was 2 years ago now. It's called The Art of Burning Man. It's actually at the Smithsonian's Renwick Gallery. Basically, they had a whole bunch of Burning Man artwork that they stuck in there, including a temple made by David Best. They are taking the temple down, so I am going to go get in one last visit to that temple because it has actually meant a lot to me to be able to go there the years that I've been sitting Burning Man out. And as I'm walking, it is giving me an opportunity to talk about a thing that is sometimes really fun for me and more often really not fun for me. And by that, of course, I do mean the Poi Top 10 list every year. This is now the 8th year that I've done it, and this is also the biggest backlash to it that I've seen since the first year that I did it. So apparently there is a contingent of people that pay attention to the Poi Top 10 list and apparently almost nothing else, and decided that this was the time to make their stand on a number of issues, but most of them basically coalesced around a particular point. And that was not so much, that there was something wrong with the list, but that there was something wrong with me. And this took a lot of different forms. Some people suggested that I be exempt from appearing on the top 10 list, that I should give up my slot to other people. And even there became multiple threads in which it became cool for people to say how they don't watch my videos and how they don't like my teaching style and everything. And there's this bizarre moment over New Year's where the easiest way to win street cred in Poi Chat was to say how much you disliked me. So aside from the fact that it really, really sucks when people make it a point of pride to hate on you, it does have me thinking a lot about the list, what it's good for, what it's not good for, why I do it, and most importantly, what does it actually contribute to the conversation? Because for me at least, there is one enormous way that I keep seeing the list fall short of what I would want it to be. And ironically enough, it's not something that I have seen anybody talking about this shit on Poi Chat talking about. It, quite frankly, is the fact that this list is the least diverse list we have ever had. It is 10 cis white guys and 1 woman. And that kind of strikes me as a little bit icky. But when it comes right down to it, it's really, really inescapable that the list is often a celebration of white male Americans, and that it's quite hard for people that don't fit that description to make it on. And, I will totally own up to the fact that there's a lot about the format that encourages that. Here, I'm pulling up to the metro here right quick. I will check back in with you all once I get off. Metro and on our way here. So when I started the top 10 list, the biggest thing I had in my head for why I wanted to do it was that at the time we really, really didn't have a way of recognizing people in the community. Every once in a while there'd be some online posts and everything of who are your favorite poi spinners, what have you. But there wasn't a really good way year to year to track for people and see that they'd made an impact on their peers. And I thought that that was something that was worthwhile, a way that, we could reach out to the people that had inspired us and be like, hey, good job. And a lot of the tenor around the discussion for this online, quite frankly, has been centered around entitlement. It's been centered around people feeling like they are owed something rather than that this is some kind of reward. And that is something that I find really, really, really disturbing about a lot of the discourse that has gone on, especially on Poi Chat about the top 10 list. This shouldn't be a thing that people feel like they deserve necessarily. It's something that they earn. And unfortunately, it seems like it's been more the former than the latter. Oh, I'm at the Renwick and head in. Well, shit. Nothing like seeing a really beautiful piece of art that has been written all over with a variety of different prayers, remembrances, and got everything in between to give you a little bit of perspective, right? Wow, so I'm feeling a lot different now than when I walked in there, and, you know, kind of taking a moment to remember that 2019 was a really, really good year for me. You know, it feels like every time I pop open my Instagram, I'm seeing a new person that has participated in one of the Drex challenges, and it makes me so happy every time I see that because, you know, I'm getting that direct interaction with people that are learning from the stuff that I'm putting out there and everything. In addition, like, I'm remembering all the responses I got to that video I did on my battle with depression back in November, and all the people that chimed in to say that it inspired them to try and get help. You know, it's funny because it's really, really easy sometimes to let negative reactions kind of color the way we look at a thing. And, you know, in a lot of ways, it's almost like an eclipse. So, you know, when the moon moves in front of the sun and everything, for just one moment, it looks like that moon is the biggest thing in the sky, when in fact, it's all just a matter of the angle that you're viewing it at, right? The moon is thousands of times smaller, but in just that one moment, it really seems to block out all the light. And I think that this is one of those cases, to be honest with you. I'm really proud of the work that I do, and I'm really proud of what my channel's accomplished and everything, and it kind of sucks that there are people out there that, you know, want to take a piece out of that and everything. But hey, to each their own, right? One of those things that I really want the top 10 list to be is a way to point people towards other people that are doing good work. And maybe the answer to that, honestly, is just to list out people that I think are doing good work. You know, off the top of my head, I can think of several flow artists that I would love to send more traffic to that I'll go ahead and link to down in the description. Off the top of my head, there's Jo Faid. She is a British poi spinner who has been inspiring me so much this year with all of her work with horizontal planes and everything. And she just has a really beautiful, crisp style to her that reminds me a lot of Kate McCoy. In addition, there's Stakhanova. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I might not be. She's a Russian poi spinner who has been absolutely killing the game on Instagram, creating tutorials and everything. I really, really, really respect the way that she has really embraced the strengths of the platform to be able to turn it into an educational platform, and the ways that she's creating relationships with the people that she's touching with her work and everything. Plus, she's a really awesome performer and an incredibly clean poi spinner who does a lot of really cool body tracing stuff. There's also Skyrush, I think is how you pronounce his name. I don't actually know where he's from, but he's seriously like the one guy that if anybody's going to inspire me to go back into spinning double staves, it's going to be him. Simply because just what he does is so incredibly fun and dancey and everything. And every time I see a video of his, I stop whatever I'm doing to watch the whole thing because he's just so good. Also, Ty Rochford. You know, I've got a lot of respect for Ty. He's one of those other people that's really working hard to integrate dance into flow arts and everything. He comes at it from more of a hip-hop angle, so like he and I, dance-wise, don't have a lot of vocabulary in common, but I really appreciate the way that he creates his prop dance challenges and everything, and he's certainly been getting out there into the world this past couple years and everything, so he's definitely worth checking out. And finally, this is not necessarily like an Instagram presence and everything, but a good friend of mine, Alexis Crone, who formerly was one of the general managers of Wildfire, has started up a really amazing blog about the experiences of being a trans activist in the nonprofit sphere, which you should go check out and support her work on Patreon, because I do now. Yeah, these are some really awesome people in our community that I think are worth your time and effort. I'll link to all of them down below, and hope you will take the time to go check them out. In the meantime, I've got a lot of fun stuff that I'm looking forward to this year, and I think it's time to get to work.